let me first share a link of where I've been repositorying. I guess I can say it like that. Here it goes.
Do you want me to share my screen, Miguel, or do you want to share your screen?
No, I will share mine. Yes,
Okay.
just give me a moment.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you so much for presenting today.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so where's the share button? And I think it's this one. Okay, so everyone can see my screen already? It's all good. Cool. So for well, since 2020, since COVID happened, I've been working on this smart data acquisition device. It's now it's more than one past 3 years. What began with with a simple Arduino Nano developer board in 2020 is now a fully customized data acquisition board that I designed in KiCad. And over that time, as Philip said correctly, I ended up coding that C++ library for accessing the experimental data to a dataverse, and this was already, I think it was in 2021, the C++ library that I wrote. And for the past 2 years, I've been improving the electronics so much that in 2023, I've been putting it on what will be hopefully a paper to be published. So, as you got the opportunity to see, the data acquisition device that I've been mentioning is this one that you have on the corner of the screen at the bottom. This one is on top of a rammed earth specimen that I have around here. It has, these wires are for a humidity and temperature sensor that is that was put at the center of this specimen, and the other two are for connecting. This one in particular has carbon fibers embedded into it, so is intended to measure electrical properties related to the carbon fiber content. But this is just a prototype of a specimen that I use for development of this hardware electronics. It's not, for now, is nothing serious. So what this particular hardware electronics is so special in regards to any other? So to begin with, this electronics is, and since the dataverse uses and focuses on a universal fingerprint ID, I've been I use that idea to expand into the electronics and include on the hardware an IC that is able to cipher, to hash any data measurement this data acquisition is able to measure. And this happens in real time. This is one of the particularities of this data acquisition device. And The other one is, as you are seeing on the video, is that it sits on top of a specimen. So let's say, for instance, that you have, I'm a civil engineer. So in civil engineering, we use 3 specimens, 5 specimens, 10 specimens. And let's say I have 5 specimens. I can put 5 data acquisition devices on each other, on each specimen. And my experimental setup is comprised of those 5 specimens with 5 data acquisition devices, each with its own unique serial identification. And this is where the important stuff starts. My main objective with this work is for me to provide increased trustworthiness when I submit a paper to a journal by showing that the values that were measured were not were indeed measured from the specimen and were not changed since then. And to make this happen is also a requirement. And this, the dataverse doesn't have this particular functionality. I had to do some hacking, let's say it like that, to it. And the functionality I'm mentioning is the ability for the smart device, for the data acquisition device, to do the data measurements uploads in real time to a dataverse. The other functionality that I've been developing is the ability for these smart devices to do some kind of swarm cooperation in regards to the data sets they are collecting and storing on each other. This is a part that is still needs further development. The swarm ability is just for now I have it only in a draft kind of way, in a way. But if we see it in a small infographic, this is how I intend to, at least for now, how I intend to make all this work. Where each data acquisition device is able to exchange information with each other on an experimental setup without any human interaction. This is machine-to-machine collaboration and cooperation, and with the main purpose of guaranteeing that the sensor data measurements are indeed those that were measured from the sensors. This is my main focus. Of course, let me make a pause here. When we talk about trustworthiness and an authenticity of any piece of data is a hard subject, because we are dealing with bits and bytes, and as we all know, are prone to be copied, deleted, changed, modified, and everything else. So, and taking that into consideration, the objective is to minimize any possible change that may happen since the instant an experimental starts running and do measurements. This is the main objective, and for now, the first tests seem to work good. Let's see where now this evolves. And for that, I've been talking to Phil here and there about the possibility of the dataverse implements a functionality to receive live data from a data acquisition device. I've been, let's say, doodling my ideas in regards to that particular functionality. let's say, for instance, on this, I picked up this universal numerical fingerprint on the Dataverse website, and decided to add my own data to it to strengthen it and to make it more robust to forgery, data forgery. For instance, I've added the local date and time of the data acquisition device. The sensor data array is with what is already on the paper for delivering UFN. I also added the onboard temperature and the onboard humidity. This is on the device itself. It's unique to the device. It also I also add the onboard motion vector. The device has a 6-axis motion sensor. This particular sensor is for detection of unauthorized handling, for instance, or it can be used for that. And finally, when possible, I added the geolocation data. This is, well, it has its limitations, but it's better than nothing, to my mind. Whenever there's internet connectivity, the data acquisition device asks requests for the external IP address and its geolocation. So if all of this data and all of this can be retrieved with good network connectivity, is possible to have a somewhat exact location of where the experiment is running and what time is running, and a few, in this case, two environmental parameters that define or characterize the experiment, the ongoing experiment, where the measuring is happening. Next, on my quest for data trustworthiness, I find it interesting the usage of blockchain-like approach on handling the data sets. There's nothing special to this. Each data record is already hashed with a unique fingerprint ID, and the only change that I've been looking into it and studying it is to use it in a blockchain kind of way. So what this means is the current data record will hold the previous unique fingerprint ID of the previous data record that was stored on the data set. It's simply that, nothing more for now. Okay, let's see if I have.
Can I ask a question, Miguel?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just kind of curious how the data set looks on the dataverse side. Would you be able to show us that?
Well, for now, dataverse accepts Excel-like files, common to limited, for instance. Those I already tested. The dataverse is able to digest them very well. But assuming a logic of doing real-time uploads, that kind of logic needs to adjust to that reality. For now, what I've been doing is to do a data set upload every time interval, And at the end of an experiment, that particular data repository will hold several dataset files with on which the last entry will be the full dataset file of an experiment.
Okay, great. It's very refreshing to have a researcher like yourself on this call, because usually it's developers like me and Steve, or data curators. Here you are very close to the data. This is actually your data that you're gathering with these devices. This is very cool.
Correct. Yeah. So I don't know if you have any interesting on seeing it. I do have some really cool pictures. If you have any interesting to see for instance, the hardware electronics or no. If you do, let me know. I will show it in 2 minutes or something. If you don't, you always have this GitHub, so you can have a look at it later. Yeah.
Right. Well, I do think we should open it up to questions and comments. One comment I had is it's interesting and cool that you're using UNF, because it's a technology that was invented here at IQSS, but hasn't gained a lot of adoption. And there's even a GitHub issue to remove it entirely from Dataverse, or at least make it optional so that people don't have to see it. And then the fact that you're extending it is interesting. Like I thought I saw you added like the date, time, and geolocation. Like that's all great, but then some of it seemed a little specific. Like not every every file data set is going to have humidity, temperature. So
okay.
I mean,
I guess there's always that possibility, I suppose. But I can, at least now, I can't imagine where there's not a place without any humidity. Of course, 0 is a value for me when I say that. So there's a humidity with 0%. So and in that sense, it's a unique marker for that define the setup, the experimental setup, and how the experimental measurements are being made. Yeah, but okay.
Great.
These parameters are just an example. It can be made to be others. Just need to change the hardware electronics and include a different kind of sensor on board and start from there. The kickout files are already available on GitHub, so it's an easier task to achieve.
Okay, great.
So
other questions for Miguel or comments? Sorry, I think I cut you off. Go ahead.
I was about to say in regards to the library, to the C++ library. The library is already fully functional for those that are looking to code embedded devices. Those that are looking to do something different, the library uses, I think it's two different libraries, two different specific libraries for embedded devices that need to be removed and adjusted to the environment where it's going to be used. But it's nothing. It's not a major task to do. It's quite simple, actually. One is related to Wi-Fi connectivity and data exchange, HTTP in this case. And the other one is, I think it's UART serial communication. That one is the simplest. It's just one just needs to to remove that library and replace it by, say, for instance, printf lines or log lines, and it's done.
Yeah, I really appreciate you creating and maintaining that C++ library.
Sure.
I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I met a guy who was looking to contribute to some sort of C project. And I'm like, oh, I know just the library you should contribute to. So hopefully we'll get you two connected.
Yeah, we do exchange a couple of mails, but since then he hasn't tell anything. Two things may happen. I was really good on my explanation on the questions he posed, and he's working on it. Mm-hmm. The other one, just found it too difficult and found a better one either. Yeah.
Well, anyone else questions or comments? Otherwise, I was planning on stopping the recording and then we'll get into Dataverse news and other items. I don't see any hands raised, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. Thanks again, Miguel. This was wonderful, and
sure,
keep work.
Thank you. I thank you too. Yes, cool.